What's your name?
Fred Zuckerman.
And you're?
I'm the director of the Automobile Transport Division for the Teamsters.
How many members have you lost nationally in the auto division in this past year?
There's 3 or 4 different components to that, which reduces the numbers. We were at 12,000 not too long ago, just a couple years ago. But you had the auto recession, which has been the worst recession that we've ever been in, so that's made our division smaller. And then you had the 2 bankruptcies of General Motors and Chrysler. And what they've done is to make their companies smaller, plus eliminate 40% of their dealerships. So now there's less cars going to less dealers. And, we're down probably 5,000 working right now out of the 12,000 that we have on the...
So that's a massive loss of jobs.
Sure, big, yeah.
That's a lot of unemployed members.
Yep, sure is.
Has the union done anything to rally them or to get moved something forward? I mean, it seems
all the time. That's all I do anymore is to try to convince these OEMs to put work back our way. They're trying to take advantage of capacity out there and go to non-union carriers. And
are all the companies doing that, or just Toyota?
No, all of them are actually. We've had meetings with Ford and General Motors, and in fact, we had a campaign against General Motors. They reversed a lot of their decisions that kept our guys doing the work. Ford Motor Company has not done that. I think we have a good agreement with Ford Motor Company that they're not going to go in that direction. Chrysler is real bad about it right now. October 1st, they diverted a lot of work, and they're finding out that it's not working for them, that these lower-cost carriers are actually failing as a result of the lower bids. They can't get people to haul the cars. They can't get the equipment. The equipment itself is expensive. You've seen those Carhaul trucks, one's right outside here. A new one, new technology with the straps and the new generation type trucks cost almost $250,000 a piece. So it's a lot of capital investment in these things. Well, they're not using it. The rates don't sustain a company that you got to make capital investment.
And you don't have the skilled workers.
And you don't have the skilled workers. So they're trying this as a new model, but they're failing. And they're awarding work back to us, but we have to go there and tell them all the things that are wrong. They've got cars that are sitting right now in Jessup, Maryland, that have been there for months because they can't get nobody to move them to the dealers. And then the dealers are, they're upset because they can't get the cars that they've already paid for. So it's a mess out there right now. The whole industry's a mess.
How many Teamster members are going to be affected here?
I work out of the International, so Jerome Alois was the International Vice President, and they estimated somewhere between 1,500 and 2,000 just in California with the closing of the NUMMI plant.
Now, the unions mobilized massively in the last election to get Obama and a Democratic majority. Are you concerned, or is the union concerned about what's happened so far? I mean, as far as the health care bill, and it looks like AFCA is off the table.
Sure, we're concerned about all those things, and we're hoping when they get time to finally sit back down and talk about those things that we can get back started on that.
Do you have any reason to believe they're going to do that? Because it seems like they're not even discussing labor. At the State of the Union presentation he made, he didn't mention. Not only did he not mention AFCA, he didn't mention labor.
Yeah, AFCA has been on the back burner because there's more important things in his opinion right now. Healthcare is important to us. I think he needs to get the wheels back on the tracks on that thing and try to find a solution to it, because healthcare is just killing this country.
Well, I mean, it seems like the teabaggers are framing the debate in this country, and workers are asking, where's the labor movement? There haven't been no mass labor protests. It doesn't seem that there's any evidence labor mobilization. Do you think that should change, or do you think that's part of the problem at all?
Well, the teabaggers are getting all the press these days. We're behind the scenes. We're working very hard to make sure that our voices are heard, and we're getting our voices heard.
Have you had any mass protests in Washington, D.C.?
No, not protests, no.
Why not?
Because we're working in other ways to try to forward our agenda.
Have those other ways worked?
I don't think anything's worked right now.
Well, I mean, it seems like I was at the AFL-CIO convention, and they had just had a rally of 70,000 teabaggers at the convention. That's what the whole country was talking about. Labor's agenda didn't seem to be on the agenda. And
but what have they done? What have they accomplished? I mean, they're out there making noise and they're on the 6 o'clock news and all those things, but they haven't accomplished anything either other than holding things up.
Well, that's, I think, what they wanted to accomplish, isn't it?
Well, I mean, I think with the election up in Massachusetts, that's what's going to hold things up.
But yeah, that's part of holding things up. I mean, they did not want anything to happen as far as any legislative changes, and it seems like they've been successful.
Yeah, and you know what? That's a shame because we really need a fix to it. We just don't need people coming in and saying no to everything. We need to fix our problems, and you know, it's a two-sided debate right now, and nobody wants to work collaboratively to fix these problems.
Well, there were a lot of hopes that Obama would bring about, and the Democratic Congress would bring about the kind of changes that are needed in this country, but it seems like he's on the defensive. He's going to the Republicans. You know, he wants to get ideas from the Republicans. It seems like labor's agenda is pretty much off the table. And a lot of workers may be disillusioned and may be voting Republican or not voting at all in this upcoming election. It could be a political disaster for labor. Aren't you concerned about that?
Well, sure, you're concerned about it, but I don't think labor's agenda is off the table. I think it's just kind of on hold right now to get past some other pressing issues.
Well, why wouldn't the president mention EFCA or even labor, the mention of labor at a State of the Union?
You'd have to ask the president that.
You don't have any idea?
I don't have any idea.
Are you concerned about that?
Not really. Nope. You know, look, we're the ones that got him elected. He understands that. He knows that, you know, we want to talk to him about certain things, and he's agreed to do that at some point. I just think that there's more important issues right now with the war and healthcare and all those things. There's only so much he can do. I mean, this guy's been working pretty hard to fix everything that was wrong, and it's hard to do that.
Well, he said he was going to try to get this free trade agreement going with Korea and some of these other free trade agreements. What's your view on that?
We don't believe that any of the free trade agreements have worked so far. I hope when they, you know, if they have to look at free trade agreements, that it's fair trade agreements. It's something where we don't run up the deficits, where we have equal trade and those kind of things.
So you don't want any more similar treaties like the NAFTA?
No, I mean, that's a disaster. Everybody knows that's a disaster.